In this video, we're going to answer a couple of questions. One, is Daniel Cooper a genius? I think we know the answer to that one, don't we, folks? If you know his videos, I'll tell you now. This is a bit of a spoiler, but the answer is yes. I'll put a link to his channel down below. Of course, we're going to be testing out an idea that I have with one of his new techniques. And two, aside from the Daniel technique, will my new inlays work? This mould is one of my old faithfuls. I'll put the link for it below for you as well. It was just from Amazon. And as you can see, this resin is starting to degas quite nicely, so we can just drop our little inlays in. As I said, I was saying, I'll put links to all my previous videos where I'm making inlays and using inlays and so on, so you can have a closer look at this if you wish. And I'll put the links down in the video description below. Now these we know will work, because they are just silicone inlays, like, you know, we've all got probably and used many already. And they were moulded from just some little wooden shapes that I'd got from a cheapy shop. Now the ones we don't know as much about are the purple ones, because they were made with silicone putty rather than pouring silicone. So here we go, crunch time. Please float, please float, please float. So far so good. Of course, you could use a slightly thicker resin. You could use one of the quick cure ones. I particularly like the 2-hour cure one from Just For You online. It's called One Coat. That's some good stuff. Because the thicker the resin, the less chance there is of them sinking. It's exciting, isn't it? Let's push that to one side, if I can do it without disturbing anything. And we will turn our attention to this. So, Daniel Cooper, thank you. This looks like a brilliant alternative. In my previous video, as I said, it's number 178 that I'll put a link for at the end. I explained that I had been trying using silicone putty to make moulds for silicone inlays, but the silicone sticks to the silicone, and it seems that no matter how much release spray I used, it was a bit hit and miss as to whether I could ever actually get the inlays out afterwards. Anyway, I then tried it with air drying clay, which worked, but you could only really use that mould once because it then falls apart. You can reuse the clay, of course, because you just wet it down, but the mould fell apart. But in the meantime, I had made, like I have an old coaster mould, I had made myself a hard version that I can just keep reproducing these in. So that was good. Now, what I wanted to see was if I could kill two birds with one stone, could I make a hard mould straight off that would last? So I've got two wooden snowflakes here, and I'm going to try Daniel's technique. And I've got some cornstarch. For anybody who hasn't seen that video of Daniel's, again, I'll pop you a card up here. But I'll go through his technique now and see if I can replicate it. Should be able to, if I do it properly. Daniel, if you're watching, don't laugh. You know I'll probably make a total mess of this. But he demonstrated beautifully in his video how you can mix cornstarch with either epoxy or with even polyurethane resin, which cures fiendishly fast. So you could do either. But the epoxy resin gives you a lot more work time, so that's what we're going to try here. The resin I'm using is the same one again, the high gloss. Again, I'm sure you could use the quick cure one with it. That might be one to try, because that would be a happy medium, wouldn't it? A 2-hour cure resin with this technique. Not as fast as polyurethane, but faster than this is going to be. Now I'm probably, but then yeah, this is going to be because of the epoxy. Now I'm going to mix up what will probably be way too much to make this one little item. I just got myself a little, it's pretty much a sample bag of this cornstarch from Amazon, because then I knew it would be delivered quickly, because I got so excited when I saw Daniel's video. I thought, I'm going to do that. So I did a next day delivery from Amazon. I only got a little bag because I wasn't sure quite how much I'd use it, but I really did want to try this first before I did anything else, because Daniel's demonstrated a few things, so we know it works for quite a lot of stuff. This was just, you know, what could I do this with it? This whole thing here. Now, Daniel says you need a lot more than you think of your cornstarch. So I'm going straight in with a teaspoonful. Now, if you see Daniel's video, I'm trying to get roughly the same amount of heapedness. See Daniel's video, you'll see he actually measures it very precisely and comes up with some exact facts and figures on it for how much to put. He's got some very precise little scoops. My brain doesn't work that way. I'm afraid I have to go for the chuck it all in, but if you want to see it done properly, obviously go have a look at that video of Daniel's. If you want to see me messing about and probably making a total hash of it, feel free to carry on watching this one. So he's clearly right, you do need an awful lot more than you think, so I'm going in with a second heap spoonful. Doink. I have obviously put far too much in these pots. Now, as one is part A and the other is part B, I'm going to do as Daniel suggested and put it into some little pots and keep for next time. My God, you do need a lot. You were right, Daniel. Okay, that's thickening up now. It's a thick paste. Good God, I'm going to end up with loads, aren't I? Ooh. Let's put a bit more in that one. Oh, well, yes, of course. The hardener is runnier than the resin. That's why one might take a bit more than the other. Right, that's thickening up really well though. Of course, because I've got part A and part B, let's put a load more in. Part A and part B, bit more in. Separately still. There's no danger of these suddenly curing on me or anything while I'm doing this. This is fun! Thanks, Daniel. You always give us fun stuff to do, as well as useful, practical. And if this, yeah, and the way this looks like it works, it's enough going to be a useful thing. Because I have been looking for something that would dry hard, for doing particularly these sort of projects with. This is getting hard to stir now. How thick is this one? Not quite at putty stage. You're right, this uses a lot more than you think. I've put so far a good couple of heaped teaspoons and some, haven't I? Let's keep going. I'll have a clear up before we go too much further, because I am getting this stuff everywhere. Don't forget, folks, you might be messing around with cornstarch. You've still got epoxy resin on the go here. Make sure you got your mask on. You don't want to be breathing in cornstarch, I wouldn't think, anyway. How's that now? Still a bit runny. Because it's very fine stuff, cornstarch, is it? Imagine it does waft around in the air. Probably wise to at least wear a dust mask, even if you're just using that, of course. We have got resin here. Take all your proper precautions, folks. Right, I'm just going to keep adding to this till I get it to the consistency that I think is what I saw Daniel had got. Okay, I think we're pretty much there. Daniel kept adding until it stopped sticking to his gloves, basically, and I think we're getting close on that stage. So I don't know how well I've mixed it, but of course we're going to be modging it around in our hands quite a lot, so as long as it's pretty much there. Is this one? Yeah, look, not sticking to my finger anymore. Now we are going to need quite a big dollop because these snowflakes are quite a decent size. See, it is still sticking to my hands. Ah. So what I'm doing is just dusting my gloves with a little bit of the cornstarch as well. So I think that might help. I've managed to get some on the on this over here, by the way. Yeah, doesn't matter. This is all for the purpose of playing and testing. Just really don't want the cornstarch all over the place. So let's take a good sized dollop. I'm going to need a good sized dollop because this is obviously these snowflakes are. This is still sticky. Look, these snowflakes are quite big. Now I think that's fairly putty like. And I'm going to keep putting cornflour. Actually, let's put it on here. That's what cooks do, isn't it? She says, pretending she knows how to cook. I can get a pot noodle wrong. It's true. It's absolutely true. That's my other half if you ever meet him. The long-suffering Mark. Thankfully, he's quite a decent cook. Is that about the same size? Yeah, looks it. Right. We're going to modge these together. And I am... Yeah, that's good. Ah, look, there's a tip for you. Do like you do cooking. It's normally flour, isn't it? Daniel said just keep modging it, basically. Excuse the mess. Because obviously you've still got to combine your two parts of the resin, haven't you? Oh, this is very satisfying. Consistency is actually really nice. And I would say, because it feels like putty, so I think I've got it about right now, I think. Get some more of that picked up off the surface. And unlike doing it with the polyurethane resin, which Daniel initially tested it with, you have got a bit of modge time with this. Now the question is this a big enough blob to do what I want to do? I think it is. So I'm just going to pat it down flat, and I'm going to get one of my little snowflakes and push into it. Question will be, can I get it out again afterwards? Right, let's do the... Actually, yeah. Let's use the rest up because we'll do the other one. But I have to say, this is great because cornstarch is really cheap. Because if you go straight to a supermarket and get it or something like that. I mean, I got this off Amazon. And obviously you've got to make, even if they say free postage, you know, the cost's in there somewhere, isn't it? So this was about £3. Was it £3.99, this little bag? And you're going to need quite a lot. But it's cheaper than resin putty to do. Silicone putty, rather. It's going to be, isn't it? But, it's different to silicone putty because it's going to not cure soft, it'll cure hard. Now I actually want it to cure hard, and as Daniel pointed out, that this you can probably push this into mould. You can probably do all sorts with it. You know, actually push, what am I talking about? Yes, push it into mould and make your little figures with it and things, and you know, little sculpture type stuff or anything. I might even try it for making my little tiny guinea pigs and things like that. The main thing is, and I should have dyed one half a colour, shouldn't I? Notice it does go yellowish anyway. But if I dyed either part A or part B a colour, then I would have seen if I'd modged it enough. Because that is obviously the trick. Because it's like just like mixing normal resin. You've got to get, you've got to have it mixed properly. So whether I'm mixing it enough, we'll soon know, won't we? But yeah, for what I'm using it for here, the fact that it's curing hard is fine, hopefully. I think it will be. Have I modged it enough? Who knows? Let's put our little snowflake in. We'll soon see. I mean, it's going to take at least as long to dry as resin normally does. So I'm going to have to leave this a good few hours. The resin I've used is one that cures in something like 20 hours, but it's warm in here because we've got our heating on. So we will see whether it how quickly it cures, really. Okay, let's see if we can get these out then. I'm going to get something sharp to get them out with, which might not do them a lot of good. We'll see. Let's try not too sharp first. Let's try the handle of my paintbrush here. You said toothbrush then. What's the matter with me? Right, well, we know these will come out. Oh, that one's always slipped lopsided a bit. Next step will be to fill the back of them all with black to make those colours pop. The resin's actually gone up over a couple of them a little bit, but not much, which is good because I can just peel that away. So I'm leaving the experimental ones till last. Oh, this one has got quite a lot of resin went over it. Catch hold of it. Yep, there we go. Ah, looks like I didn't actually paint a couple of those, but I did. Well, how odd. Did I? Maybe I missed a couple. I didn't think I had. Anyway, not a problem. Right, here we go. Let's see if the putty ones have worked. I hope so, because this would be a lovely alternative for anybody who doesn't... I'm going to have to get something sharp now. For anybody who doesn't fancy jumping right in with liquid silicone. Yeah. Brilliant. So the answer to that then is yes. I'm going to fill these little Christmas trees in with some black now. Just some black resin. Or black resin, or shall I? No, I think I might do... Yeah, no, black resin. We'll stick with black resin. Let's get some gloves on and we'll do that. And then I'm just trying to think about how I do snow and stuff behind it. I think I'll just do white at the bottom, blue at the top, that sort of thing. But I need a dividing line, don't I? What to do that with. Right, let's get some black mixed up. Shall we try polyurethane? I've got some handy, so... This might go horribly wrong. I'm not really used... Well, I have used polyurethane to back things before. But not quite like this. A little stirry stick. This is just a quick, lazy way to back it, really. I could use black UV. That would work as well. Be quick. This should be quick. Remember, this is the stuff that cures in about 10 minutes. Get a wipe at the ready. Let's see what that looks like when it's cured, and then we'll think about putting some snow in. Right then, let's try and get some snow in this. So I'm going to use some Eco Pour, which I'm going to try for once to mix nice and thick. And already I've obviously put too much water in. There is a proper formula for this stuff. If I remember rightly, it's something like third water to, yeah, 3 parts water to 10 parts powder, something like that. However, I just tend to mix it till I get the consistency that I'm actually after. You can go a bit either way, quite a bit either way actually. And I've talked to the ladies from Just For You online, and they say, yeah, we pretty much do the same. So yeah, really thick now. So Eco Pour is one of these resin alternatives. It's very white. That's why I like the Eco Pour one. It's a lot whiter than other brands that I've tried previously. And it cures really, really quickly. You should be able to demold it in half an hour. But what I'm trying to do is get a bit of a snow scene going here, so I don't want it to run too far, hence why I've tried to get it thick. Snowy mountainside, that's what I'm going for. So I'll see you later. So this is all cured up nicely, as you can see. Now I've got some acrylic markers here. They came in a set like this, look. So we've got two different size nibs. These big, quite chunky ones. And then we've got these little fine ones. Now my thought was, if I can get one working, you have to do this bodging the tip first, don't you? Yeah, my thought was to put some stars on here. Well, they're going to be little dots really. And I thought we'd see if we can do it just with an acrylic pen. Or is it going to be snow? It might be snow, mightn't it? It might be. Yeah, I think I'm going to leave it at that, and then people can interpret it either as stars or as snow. Anyway, I've got to let that dry, haven't I, before I do much more. So, pop the lid back on these. I'll put the link for these pens below. I bought them for using on chalkboards, to be honest, but they look rather good. Right, back in a moment. Now, I've got some resin here. Not too much, because there's not going to be that much space to fill up left, is there really? Especially now the Eco Pore's taking a chunk of it too. Now, colour-wise, not sure. I wasn't sure what to do because I wanted it to be really dark blue. So I've got this beautiful dark blue pigment, and I thought I would just put a tiny bit of this sparkle in it. But we'll see how dark it is. I've also got some peacock blue. These are all from Just For You online. If anybody wants to treat yourself, there is a discount code down below. Oh, come on, top. See, I thought I'd had all these tops off before, but maybe not. Look at this. These gloves are smalls, and I'm still... don't go to the ends of them. I didn't realise I'd got such small hands. Okay, let's move this to one side so you can see what's going on with the mixing. The resin I'm using is from Just For You online as well. It's the Apex 1 coat, which is this 1 hour... Seriously, you didn't mishear that. Sorry, no, 2. The resin I'm using is Apex 1 coat, which is, and you haven't misheard this, a 2 hour demold. Well, 2 hour cure, yeah, 2 hour demold. I tend to leave it a bit longer to be on the safe side, but... oh, look at that colour. Should have done this in a clear pot, I'd have been able to see it better, I think. I will put the tiniest bit of this glitter in, but only a tiny bit. Just an extra little bit of sparkle. And a bit more of the pigment. You don't need much, this powder is very heavily pigmented. Let me tell you what the colours are called. Well, I would if I could. I seem to have got that one dirty. Twilight, I think that says. And this glitter is Blue Lagoon. And as I said, I've got peacock blue as well. Is that dark enough is the question. I might put the tiniest dot of this in as well. This is a pigment paste. As you can see, it's a really dark blue. Just wonderful things when you only put like a tiny dot of it in. You get this fabulous deep sort of Caribbean blue. If you just use it on its own. So a little bit of that just to darken it down a bit. Let's see what that's done. Still want to go a bit darker, I think. So, a little bit more peacock blue, and I'm tempted to just put the tiniest speck of black in there as well. I know that seems a bit of a shame when it's such a beautiful colour, but oh dear, I've got my gloves. I've got blue gloves now. Oh, messy me. That's lovely, isn't it? I think I am just going to put the tiniest dot of black, and the black I'm going to use, just because I've got it to hand, is the Vista. Still using up a bottle of Vista colour, which is it's good stuff too. And that's only the tiniest bit. I don't want to go too far with this. Still want it to be very blue, just deeper. Right, let's see what that looks like. There we go, that's what I was after. Right, just going to pour it in all over the back now. I have checked that my little dots, be they stars, be they snowflakes, interpret them as you will, but I have made sure that they are fully dried. Oh yes, that is the colour I was after. I hope I've got enough here. Not entirely sure, might have to mix a little bit more up, but you can see where I'm going with this, hopefully. Some of you commented I've started using paper pots lately. It's just a bunch I came by, to be honest, but I am finding them good. I've avoided using paper pots in the past because they're not, you can't recycle them once you've done something like this in them. And I wasn't sure how many times I'd be able to reuse them, but I have actually found that if I just let the resin cure, either that or give it a good white brown. As long as they're fairly sturdy ones, I can use them a good few times before I chuck them. Now the question is that enough? Oh, look at that colour. Or do I need to mix up a bit more? I think I need to mix up a bit more. Anyway, I'll do that and I will then see you all for the demold. See you later. Just checking back in on these. I never did manage to get these out. I think I need to persevere with this though, because if I can use these to make this stuff to make originals, obviously just not wooden ones. Anyway, Daniel, yes, as I said earlier, spoiler, Daniel's a genius because that was fun. It's worked. It's rock hard. It's just what I tried to do with it was a fail. Anyway, yes, there's an answer to that question as well. So we now know that my inlays float and Daniel Cooper is a genius. There you go, 2 questions answered in one video. Back to the little Christmas trees. Right, time to see if it's worked. Interesting thing, you know, glitter normally sinks. This floated. Maybe it's because the resin's such a thick resin. Don't know. Could be. A little bit of overspill here and there to sort out. It's been about 2.5 hours, so whilst this is perfectly demoldable at this point, I've got a little bit of softness going on around the edges. It's only a tiny bit. That glitter sparkling. I don't know if you're picking up the holographics that's going on there in that glitter. Right, let's see if it's worked. I need to go around the edge of it with the deburring tool because I have got a little bit of a lip, or maybe a big nail file. Right, look at that glitter. Anyway, let's flip it over. Oh, that's adorable. So I don't know why a couple of the trees were black. Must have just missed them with the powder or something. And some of that glitter and some powder's got where it shouldn't have done, but I think that's brought it to life a little bit more. So, isn't that cute? Right, now if you've liked this video, you know what to do. Just go click something. All the buttons are down here. Subscribe, like, and that's where you can drop me some comments as well if you like. Much appreciated. Okay, I'm going to take some better photos of this, and I will see you for the next video. Thanks for watching, everyone. Really appreciate your support. Bye then.